Every single person has a future that they dream of living that is typically far from the life that they actually have. Maybe you desire a life of abundant leisure time, becoming extremely fit, or even becoming financially free. Whatever it is, we all have this tendency to keep that idea locked in our head and stagnant, just unchanged and forever living as this fantasy in our head. Maybe it's because you're scared to fail, or maybe you don't want to put in all that effort to get there, or maybe you don't even know exactly what it is that you want. It is because of these limiting beliefs that people end up staying in the same position their entire lives, feeling unsatisfied but not putting in the effort to actually make change happen. And the hard but kind of obvious truth is that progress is not going to happen unless you start putting progress in. You're never ever going to reach your goals unless you start putting effort into them. They're forever just going to be this idea in your head until you start working on it. Procrastination is only delaying your dreams. So this video is going to help you establish what kind of life you actually do desire and how you're gonna get there. So the first thing you're gonna do is decide what qualities and aspects that you actually want in a life of your dreams. This can sound really ambitious, but the easiest way to do it is just to get out a blank piece of paper and just start jotting down every single thing that comes to your mind. Just don't overthink and throw everything that's in your head onto that paper. If you're not quite sure where to start, you can begin by imagining waking up in a day in your dream life, and just going through each event, what's happened, what's changed, what are you better at, and kind of just listing those things. It doesn't have to be a ton, but just enough that you have a general idea. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn those qualities into actionable goals. The whole idea of this is to establish what steps need to be taken for you to actually reach your goal. If you wrote something down like, I want people to think I'm more intelligent, go through and identify what are some qualities that you consider an intelligent person to have. Maybe you think that means that you seem very knowledgeable on a bunch of topics. So you're gonna set your goal to be to maybe read a bunch of books so you therefore become even more knowledgeable. If you've written down really specific things, sort them into categories for an overarching major goal. For example, maybe you put that you want to always brush your teeth 2 times a day because you always forget. Your goal would be just to have better hygiene. Once you've established exactly what you're going to work on, we're going to make those goals actually measurable. Making a goal that you can actually track is critical if you want to actually commit to your goal. A study by Locke and Lathamman showed that over 80% of individuals perform better with challenging and specific goals compared to those with vague or no goals. This can be really simple. For example, if your goal is to become financially free, give yourself a number that you would be comfortable with and consider being, financially free. Now let's work backwards from that and set benchmarks. If you decide your number is $5 million to be financially free, set that as the finish line, but still put benchmarks to show that you're actually progressing. You can work backwards saying that maybe $1 million I feel really comfortable with, but I need to have 100K for me to feel like I'm actually starting to have growth, but maybe you're starting off with just having 10K in a high yield savings account, and then go through there until you hit the finish line. To be even more sure that you're going to accomplish these goals, we're going to set deadline for better performance. Gail Matthews' study at Dominican University revealed that individuals who set deadlines are 40% more likely to actually accomplish those goals that they've set. This part is going to entirely depend on what type of goals you have, but the best way to set these is just going through your benchmarks and putting a date with them. This is going to create a sense of urgency that is going to motivate action. The last step, and this is always the hardest step, is to commit. Learn to show up every day and put in progress, even if it's just 20 minutes in your lunch break, even if it's the 15 minutes you have to yourself before your kids wake up in the morning. Find the time to make progress and demand change out of yourself. This step is the biggest reason why people are stuck living in lives that they're not satisfied with. Because honestly, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be knocking their goals out of the park. Everyone would be super fit, have all their GPA goals, be happy, be financially free, but it's hard to commit and have discipline. It's okay if you don't work on your goal every day, but just knowing that you're committed and following through, hitting those deadlines, not stopping if you miss a day, but learning to keep on going is going to be so critical in actually hitting these goals. Because like I said at the beginning, you're not gonna make progress unless you put in progress. I know it's the most obvious thing, but I think it is something that I always have to remind myself that I'm not putting in any effort into doing this thing today. I'm not making any progress at all. I am just wasting my time. And obviously don't push yourself or burn out, but learn to have discipline and show up every day. An ending thought for this video is just to learn how to experiment with your goals. A lot of these things that you might be setting down are going to be really long term and probably going to take years and years to accomplish. You might set a goal that you think you're going to accomplish in 5 years, and you might realize that In 5 years, you're not gonna want the same things. And that is completely okay. The beautiful part of setting goals is it puts you out of your comfort zone and you get to learn so much more than just like the basic goal. If your goal is to run a 5K in a year, you're gonna learn so much about nutrition and food and healthy eating and how to build stamina. You're gonna learn how to set pace times and you're gonna learn how to do stretching. Through that, you're just gonna find out so many new things, and maybe you're gonna think, oh, I really enjoy eating a balanced diet. I'm going to experiment with cooking, and this is a new passion of mine that fulfills me even more than running. Now, if you find out that the goal that you are pursuing isn't really working out for you, take that and learn from the adversity. It is an incredible tool to become excited to fail. The best part about experimenting is you get an even deeper understanding of the life that you want and is more fleshed out than the one in your head, which means that you can literally live a life better than the dream life you are thinking of right now. Alright, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a different type of my video, but I really enjoy productivity content and wanted to share my peace of mind. A lot of my inspiration for this video came from the book Atomic Habits. If you're a student, I'd also recommend checking out Cal Newport. If you learned something or got some motivation from this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next time.